A very warm welcome to you. It's my pleasure as always to welcome you to this edition of the program. As you know, we are your source for all the latest happenings in the world of business. We are in the month of December, and that can only mean one thing, and that's Christmas. So compliments of the season to you and yours. Once again, you're welcome to the program, and my name is Margaret Mary Osiobor. On the lineup this week, we'll join Faith and her guests for the concluding part of their session on re-evaluating insurance distribution channels. Many believe that unless the Nigerian insurance industry rejigs the distribution channel, not much will be achieved by way of penetration. Do take a listen.
Most companies don't do research. What we find people doing is just cook up a policy, and you want to force it down the throat of people. You need to dimension the people. You need to profile them.
On this edition also, we'll bring you highlights of the presentation of the renovated hostels for patients of the Yaba Psychiatric Hospital by the Managing Director of Leverage Insurance Brokers, Honorable Lanre Laoshe, as part of the company's corporate social responsibility. Plus, of course, all the other extras we bring you each week on this program. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the lineup. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
How do you approach, if you see a challenge, how do you approach that, oh, this is a challenge we see when there's no uniformity? It's bringing you back to what Mr. Obuvier said initially. When you don't speak as one, with one voice as an industry, so how do you now say, oh, maybe regulator, this is a challenge that we have, or this is an opportunity that we see. Can you do this for us so that we can do this?
Before it continues, because there's an issue that just evolved of recent. It's an UT business.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another, an area where you see division. Why some underwriters are saying this is the way we should go, and an underwriter, I won't mention names, went to the air as far as that and was saying something different. And this is a product that will benefit the entire industry. And the regulators are saying, how can this is where we want to go? And this is where you are going to. So it's that unity, that collaboration thing, I don't know, it's really huge. Until, because it's only insurance I see this division. I don't know if there are others, but it's only insurance you see this, even among all these stakeholders, the underwriters, the intermediaries, the whatever you want, they don't speak in one voice. I think that is something we need to really, bring as a culture to the industry. Let us speak in one voice. So at any point in time, we represent what we are all saying together. The only issue right now is, if we're not careful, we may lose out. Just because of we are divided.
Divided. Then tomorrow you people will come and cry. Pension used to be with the insurance.
Yes.
It was taken away. They were looking. We have opportunity. It was taken. Workman compensation was taken. They were here. Health insurance was taken. In South Africa and all those other places that you see that their contributions to GDP is like, these are part of the insurance industry. But here, I don't know. So you as an industry, you also have in-house. Okay, you said no problem. You have in-house. You have in-house challenges.
There's no perfect situation,
and
but
those things have also affected our penetration. The 1% we are seeing today, because those products, if you removed, and like you rightly said, very soon most will be off. Fire will soon be off. Well, so what is the industry? What are we as the industry doing?
Someone said something that this is my own approach to life situation. Some of the things you said, I know they exist, but I recalibrate my mind to assume that they are not existing so that I can have enough capacity to develop new things now. Okay. Someone said something, I can't remember his name now. He said if the rate of change that is operating externally is faster or higher than the rate of change that is operating internally, then that person will become history. Exactly. So what I try to do is, when you say challenges, they are enormous, but what I try to do is to think proactively of what I need to do in order to articulate a response mechanism. Understand? So that's why I agree some of the things he's saying, but I decide to just say I'm not seeing them, so that I should be able to do
But
things.
you should see them, because these are realities.
They are realities, but I don't want them to conspire against me. They can, yeah, when they conspire against you, you may not be able to think or do. It's just like in Nigeria, we understand when this recession of 18, people were committing suicide. Yeah, people are still committing suicide. But is that the route to go? No. If those guys that committed suicide are sad and say, okay, that I lost my job doesn't mean that I can't get, so you know, they will have been living. So I don't want to look at, I don't want to delve in challenges and start thinking. Rather, I need to offer solution. One of the things I would also say, because we are looking at why there's low penetration. So most companies don't do research. What we find people doing is you just cook up a policy and you want to force it down the throat of people. You need to dimension the people. You need to profile them. What is their age? Can they pay for that product you have? Because any product that you are designing, there are about 3 characteristics. It must be available, must be affordable, forgotten the third one. Just like a story I read, there was a company in US that they sell dog food. And the MD found out that sales was going down. And he met the chief marketing officer that, why is sales not going up? The man said, people started saying, no, I think the price is not good, or blah, 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 the product is not good. But when the man met the people on the field, you know what they said? They said the dogs refused to eat the dog meat, meaning that the product was not suitable for the dogs. So if we are able to go to the factories, as it were, and develop products that are developed based on research.
But you guys sit in your offices in Lagos, in fully air conditioned, and you say, oh, those people in my 12 market, I think they need insurance for their children in school. You've not gone to ask them what they need. I'm not talking just particularly about individual companies now. As an industry, 3 or 4 years ago, when CBN was pushing this financial inclusion, we happened to be at an event, and one of the directors in CBN said that at the time they were collecting data from different sectors, and when it was time of the insurance industry, they wanted to get data on the number of adult men that have insurance policy, adult women that have insurance policy. Nikon couldn't provide that information. So these are issues. So if you don't have data, how many insurance companies can afford to spend big on data and research? As an industry, it brings us back to this issue of not speaking with one voice. And that's why penetration has refused to move. You cannot come together to say, oh, annually this should be our budget on research and development. Let's look at this area of research, let's look at this, and gather those data so you have it available. You don't do that. Insurance company will say, oh, data, no, we don't want to go there. What is the budget of the entire industry on training of their human capital? It's next to nothing. So how do you move your penetration? You keep talking about technology. Is it the technology that will do all of these things for the insurance industry? As we close, I want you to...
Yes, I will keep on saying technology. You see, there's always an ideal situation. I'm talking from perspective of maybe some companies have worked, or those that I know that they are doing things. That's why I'm looking at the future that's the futuristic. There's a lot that is being done, and I want to say that for penetration distribution, I think there's hope for the insurance industry. There's a wake-up call, and I want to assure the Nigerian populace that the insurance industry is the industry to go, to look at for. And also that at this critical time, I think government also needs to do more for the industry. For instance, the tax that the industry pays, maybe at this particular, it's not this forum anyway, I think the tax regime is not favorable to the insurance industry.
Tax regime in Nigeria is not favorable to anyone sector.
Particularly the insurance industry, that's another thing. And I want to assure Nigerians that the trust element is there. Let them go out and buy insurance. Insurance is a mechanism that you will not regret buying, and keep on. We have been told that we should buy Nigerian made goods. So insurance made in Nigeria, yes, made and make in Nigeria. So please let us keep on patronizing insurance company in Nigeria. Thank you.
Well, I won't say they're not doing. We're not doing enough, and those who are doing are just maybe about 5%. So if you have 5% doing what 100% is supposed to do, there's going to be a challenge. So until the entire industry, the underwriters, all stakeholders come together and say that what we are doing presently cannot deepen penetration. What can we do more and do more? Because we need a lot to do to deepen penetration. But if we continue this way, we will still be crying low penetration, low penetration, low penetration. So I think the industry itself need to do a lot more. I think we are still, they say insurance is conservative. Just a few of the stakeholders have left that area of conservation. Yes. A lot of them still are in that space. Oh, insurance is conservative, risk-based management, this, that, so let me be careful. I think we are still a little bit too careful. But companies that have, I don't want to mention names, companies that have renovated and been proactive are the ones driving the business right now. Like rightly said, there are some companies who have come to change the dynamics of doing insurance business, and the ones at the forefront right now. But those ones that are still waiting were conservative and not there. So I think as we close, majorly the industry needs to come together as all stakeholders and do more. There's still a lot more to do to deepen insurance penetration.
All right, welcome back. Many thanks for still staying tuned. Moving on now, we bring you highlights of the presentation of the renovated hostels for patients of the Yaba Psychiatric Hospital by Leverage Insurance Brokers as part of their CSR. Indeed, more companies should be involved in doing good. Enjoy it.
Leverage Insurance Brokers Limited is one of the leading brokerage firms in Nigeria. The company recently embarked on a laudable project as part of its corporate social responsibility by renovating the main ward of the Yaba Psychiatric Hospital. On hand to unveil the completed project was the management team of Yaba Psychiatric Hospital, friends, chairman and staffers of Leverage Insurance Brokers. Welcoming the team from Leverage Insurance Brokers, the managing director of the hospital, Mrs. Oluyemi Ogun, said the company has done marvelously well.
But it's our people who went out of their way to go and seek you out. They searched for you and they brought you to this place, and you have done marvelously well. And as you have done marvelously, when we see it and we bless you, of course God is already blessing you. He's already blessing you, and He will bless you and bless the works of your hands and bless your family exceedingly. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, ọwọ́ yín kò ní kan ìsàlẹ̀ àpò. Ibi tẹ́ ẹ ti mówó yẹn ẹ̀ní mọ́ lára. Àbùsí ni tomi, àbùsí ló máa jẹ́ fún yín in the mighty name of God.
In his brief remarks, the chairman of the Leverage Insurance Brokers, Honorable Lanre Laoshe, said the prisons and psychiatric hospitals are two critical institutions often overlooked by well-meaning individuals and institutions.
For an average African, there are two places we don't look at: the prison yard and the mental hospital. When you get to the prison yard, you look the other way. When you get to the mental institution, you look the other way. That's why they say this place is Yaba left. So if I have not, you think every hospital we should look the other way, but once the regular hospital, you go there to save lives, to give birth to children. There are times when you start rejoicing right from the hospital. But when you see this institution, this kind of institution, you tend to take your face away. So many people who could, maybe people, more public spirited individuals who could have assisted you, have always been looking to the right because they never wish to be here. But when if you are interested in the future of a nation and youth, the youth is the future of our nation. When drugs and drug abuse are destroying the youth, then you know that this is a critical institution for the future of Nigeria.
With a few speeches taken, the delegate proceeded to unveil the project. Some of the staffers of the hospital expressed their views on the project.
Here they learn some trades, some things that they can hold on to when after they are discharged, that will keep them busy from going back to drug. So a lot of them goes into tailoring, computer learning, fine arts and things like that. And after discharge, we even have some outside who are good tailors now. And you see, some of them had this seal of doing this job, but starting point is their problem. They normally start from here, and we continue at our main department where they can still be coming as an outpatient to perfect their training. That is what we do majorly here. In addition to the normal treatment given by the doctors, the nurses, and the other health professionals in the hospitals.
We really appreciate this place because we suffer in this place so much. When this place where we do our ward run, where we see our patients, once there is no light, everybody will be in kind of suffering. And you have really done so well for us. We appreciate and we know that God will replenish your pockets. Amen. And you will be able even to do even better. Not only in this place, anywhere you put your focus, you'll be able to deliver as you have delivered for us here.
We saw the views of the chairman and the deputy managing director of Leverage Insurance Brokers on why they decided to embark on this project at this time of economic recession.
The concept of insurance is that when you have a misfortune, there will be insurance to indemnify or put you back where you are supposed to be. So it's natural that it's in the time of distress that people in the insurance industry should come out and show that yes, we are there to put the society back to where it ought to be. But giving to society, again at the time of economic depression, is when everybody should contribute to support the government. So that we all pass through this recession, sharing the little we have, and when we are back to prosperity, we shared in the prosperity, we ought to share in the other side of it.
I feel great, I feel happy. One thing is that this is not the first project we are putting in place. We have done that to other organizations, and as Elia said, it's part of our corporate social responsibility, which I believe we should give back to the community. And that is the reason why we said, okay, let's extend the fellowship mind to psychiatric hospital.
The insurance industry has suffered from poor perception for a long time. Perhaps more insurance companies and brokerage firms should embark on more projects such as this as part of their CSR to win the trust of more Nigerians.
And that is our time on the program this week. Many thanks for being a part of it. Feel free as always to connect with us on all our social media platforms, but don't forget to join us next week for a fresh package. My name is Margaret Mary Osiobor. As our final shot this week, Mr. Lanre Smart, the Managing Director of NEM Insurance PLC, recently took dignitaries from within and outside the industry to Sobe in Edo State for the final burial ceremony of his mother, Madam Abigail Smart, who slept in the Lord at the ripe age of 88 years. It was indeed a celebration of a life well spent.
Praise the Lord. But I know with the grace God gave to these children of Mama, I know that the Lord will use them mightily to the glory of God in Jesus' name. Please, the church is the same, so far you make heaven is the important thing. It is not changing the church that matters. Know God as you are told today, and you make heaven. Anything that is not working right where you are worshiping, then make it right. Receive the body of our beloved mother, Madam Abigail Smart, for burial. Let us pray with confidence to God, the giver of life, that He will raise her to perfection in the company of saints.